Hello everyone, it's Colby, and today we are going to go over all of the subclasses for Monk, everyone's favorite class. I am joined with today by my buddy Philip.
Hi.
That's Philip, and we are, going to go through Monk. We've already gone through Blood Hunter, Cleric, Artificer, and Fighter. We're also going to do Barbarian after this, so stay tuned. Like and subscribe. Actually, just subscribe and hit that notification bell to be notified when we release the Barbarian video. We are also going to do the rest of them. As you can see on screen, we have a tier maker here that has all over 120 subclasses. We're just about halfway through. There's a lot of them, to be honest. Actually, we're not halfway through. I think we're probably like a third.
We were halfway through until we lost the audio on the other two.
Yeah, we did record Paladin and Ranger, but we're gonna have to re-record those due to an issue with audio. But regardless, we're gonna do Monk today. Starting with so this tier list is our own opinion. It's very subjective. It's not a ranking of how powerful they are, but it is a ranking of how, like, it's just comparing, like, the Monk subclasses. We're not comparing it to other subclasses. We're not factoring in how we feel about the Monk, because that would bring them down a lot closer to D. We factored in how we feel about the Monk. This is, if we are going to play a Monk, which subclasses would we want to play, and which ones we would never touch. So, the first one is also the newest one, the Ascendant Dragon. How do you feel about this one?
I had it in S.
You have it in S?
I don't like monks. So most of my rankings are more to do with the flavor of it.
Okay.
'Cause I don't particularly like monk just as a base class. So for me, if I'm gonna pick a monk subclass, it's just gonna be more about what I want to do with the role play. And this is one that is cool. Like level 6 Wings Unfurled, that's cool. You know, Breath of the Dragon, that's cool. You know, they're not very strong, they're not very good, but they're cool. And for me personally, with a class that I don't like Monk, I want something that plays into the role play more, personally.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair argument. When you said S, first of all, I have this one in C, by the way.
Mm-hmm. I get why you'd have it in C. It's all just about how you go into it thinking.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's not strong. It's not.
No.
But, I mean, to be honest, I don't particularly think any of them are very good. I think Shadow Monks can be strong. But, like, most of them are pretty underwhelming in the power department. So, I'm just more looking at flavor.
Yeah, and that's fair enough, and that's just a different thing that, that you're gonna value throughout this. Like, for me, it just doesn't seem like that much value in combat for sure.
Yeah, I mean, neither of us like monks, so it's gonna be harder to rank this one than other classes.
That's
like every
true.
other class we've done, like Blood Hunter was similar to this, except that there's only 4, so it's a lot easier to rank them.
Yep.
Like, there's a lot of monks. There's 11.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just a little bit harder when we don't like the base class itself. I mean, I've made more homebrew monk subclasses than any other class because I want there to be one that actually, like, makes me want to use it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like, the idea of the monk class is great. I actually think the class features for the monk aren't too bad, and they're very fitting, and they're kind of, like, unique, having their own sort of, like, resource management with Ki. It's just, I feel like the subclasses don't complement it very well.
I think that monk as a base class is it's a strong base class. You get a lot of benefits to it. it plays into a good archetype of an unarmed fighter and everything. And I think that people that play it have a lot of fun and usually really enjoy it. Personally, I just don't like playing them usually.
Hmm.
And none of the subclasses make me want to.
Yeah. So with Ascendant Dragon, you put an S, I put a C. I kind of like. Would you be okay
I'm
with it being a
I'm
B?
fine. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I
Okay.
I'm gonna be very loose with how I have them because like there's two. I put three in S
Oh wow.
because of the role play of them. One of them I'm gonna be hard about pulling up. The other two, I don't really care.
Okay. Fair enough. And like I think we both also see each other's like views on this. Like you admit that it's not very good combat wise. I do admit that it does fit well in the role play, like being able to speak Draconic. If you fail a charisma or intimidation or persuasion, you can use a reaction to re-roll the check. It's like it's all part of like
Hmm.
being a dragon. And Draconic Strike, I mean, it doesn't add damage, but it is definitely cool looking that
Yeah.
you can like change what damage your unarmed strike does.
Yeah, and I like that it gives your Step of the Wind flying speed. So you don't get a flying speed unless you use key. And it's just cool. Like you go to move quickly, and when you do, some spectral wings unfurl out and you like fly while do like that's just cool.
Yeah, that's true. Do you have to land? Like it's basically kind of like a jump, right?
Uh
Step of the
no,
wind.
you just you have a flying speed equal to your walking speed while you have it.
So the step of the wind just allows you to use disengage or dash as a bonus action. So you would have to
Yeah, so when you
land.
use it, you can also fly. You don't have to land.
Well, you fall next turn if you don't use it, right? Because you lose your
You can
wings.
use your reaction to reduce any fall damage you take by amount equal to 5 times your monk level with the ability Slow Fall, which you get a 4th level as a base monk feature.
That's fair enough.
So even if you go at 6th level, you have a movement speed of probably 45 if you started at 30.
Yeah.
So, even if you go up that high, you can reduce it down by quite, like,
Yeah, fair
pretty
enough.
fine.
And Breath of the Dragon, like, I do, again, thematically, it's great. It's great. You can do a 20-foot cone or a 30-foot line, and you can also change the damage type of it. It's just really unfortunate that the damage is just 2 rolls of your martial arts die, and it doesn't scale to 11th level, and it only scales for 3 rolls.
Yeah.
So, like,
It's a situational thing where if there's a group of people in front of you for a cone or a line of people for a line, then it absolutely makes sense to use. Otherwise, it's more for flavor than
yeah,
anything else. Yeah.
I, I just wish it dealt more damage, for sure.
Yeah. it- It's just flavor things.
Yeah.
I like the flavor of it. Dragons are cool.
Dragons are definitely cool. So let's put this one in B.
Yeah, like
And
none of these classes add a lot of power to the monk.
yeah, that's true. And that's probably why a lot of mine are going to be quite a bit lower. So let's move on to Astral Self. How did you have this one?
I don't like Astral Self.
I have it as a D.
I had it in C.
Okay. I don't like it either. It's actually the first subclass and like
The first class.
first
First
character
anything.
I ever played. It was fairly confusing when I started, but that was also because I didn't know
Didn't know how to play.
how to play. And now looking at it with a lot more experience in D&D, it's just the idea of it's kind of cool. I agree with that.
Yeah.
But again, the
The
powers.
reason I had it
Yeah.
The reason I had it one step above is I would play it over the one I had in D every time.
They only had one in D then.
I only had one in D because the way I kind of go about tier lists is like there's one at the bottom because the two above it, I in C, I would always play over that one in D. Always.
That's fair
So it
enough.
should be on its own as the worst. To me, obviously, that's not for everyone, but
Yeah, that's true. So I'm perfectly fine with Astral Self being a C because it sounds really cool what you're able to do.
yeah. Well, it's another one where it is cool flavor having astral fists.
Yeah.
You know,
And-
that's cool. You go to punch and you just like make a bunch of ghost hands.
Yeah. And then you keep like adding on to your Astral Self as well. At 6th level, you can summon the visage of your Astral Self, giving you honestly kind of pitiful things,
Yeah,
but
it's not great.
it's
Like,
not.
The class, none of these classes add strength is my argument, so I go for what I want the flavor to be.
Yeah, that's fair.
And like this flavor is fine, but I mean the dragon flavor's cooler. You know what I mean?
That's true. Okay, so Astral Self, I'm perfectly fine with it being a C, because like the way I found myself like looking at this tier list, and it was very different than others, unlike what was on the bottom. There's probably, I don't know, 60 or 70% of these I just didn't care about. Like I had them like all in C at a certain point, and I was like, I should probably like make them. I should probably split these up because I do dislike others more than others, but
Well,
overall, they just don't have an impact on me.
Well, and we did it like you had a lot in C and towards the bottom, but you also just don't like monks. I also don't like monks, but I had it all across the board like every other class because sure I don't like monks, but I still like this one more than that one because the flavor's cooler. You know, like we just went about it totally different.
Well, like even with, and I honestly I went about this as these are the subclasses I would think of playing. It's just unfortunate a lot of them I wouldn't play, and I would just probably repeat some of the better ones. But anyways, Astral Self, we'll put it in C and move on to Cobalt Soul.
I had it at the bottom.
I also had it at the bottom. That's an easy bad one.
You know what's unfortunate about this one?
What?
It could be cool.
Yes.
Could be really cool.
Yeah, so
it just doesn't do anything.
it's like a nerd monk, right?
Sort of. Like it's all about like stealing your mind and everything and
knowing your enemy, which does sound cool.
It just doesn't do anything. Like the ability starts out really cool. You strike a hidden cluster of nerves on a creature, temporarily preventing it from masking its true thoughts and intent. So it, you can't lie. It's cool, but what will it do though?
Yeah, like in practice, that just means they probably just won't talk to you.
Yeah, you don't have to lie to remain silent.
No.
Like you don't have to lie to just say something else. Like you can choose to not answer a question without lying. It's hard to force someone to answer a question. And also, if someone just hit me in a cluster of nerves, I'm not willing to talk to them.
Exactly.
I don't know about you. Like,
Yeah,
it's cool, but like, what did it do though?
They should change the result of it. I'd even feel better about it if it were like possibly charmed or something like feeling. Yeah, I don't know.
The reason behind all of this is a subclass made for a specific campaign for a specific character in mind because this is a critical role content.
Fair enough.
Like it was made for a character for a campaign where they made it together with the player and the DM to make it for this story.
Okay.
That it would actually work in that story.
Yeah.
And some of the critical role classes are great. Like look at Echo Knight. It's amazing. But this one just doesn't hit for me personally.
Okay, so we'll keep that one at E. We've uncovered your 1D tier
Yeah.
option. The next one is Drunken Master.
S.
Wow. I had it
Easy.
at D.
Easy S.
Easy S. Why? You have
Yeah.
it in S, so
Easy S.
tell me why.
You ever see Drunken Master before?
C, Drunken Master? What do you mean?
Yeah, Jackie Chan movie.
No, I haven't seen it.
That's why. And just like, I just think it's really funny and would be great to play a character that like you're about to go into a fight and you're like, so you just get drunk first, so that you're just like burping on people and like you're dodging attacks by like barely swaying out of the way, and it looks like it's accidental, but it's also kind of not at the same time. You know, it's the same reason I had Ascendant Dragon in S. I think that it would be fun to play for the role play and would be fun characterize.
That's
The abilities aren't
true.
good.
No.
The abilities aren't good on any of these, so I don't care about that. You know?
Yeah, I feel like the abilities don't kind of complement that theme that well, though.
I don't know. When you use the flurry of blows, you also gain the benefit of disengage. So like when you punish people, you also kind of like stumble away. You get bonus proficiency, so you get brewer supplies. You know?
Yeah.
Tipsy sway. When you're prone, you can stand up by spending 5 feet rather than half your movement. Redirect attack. You know, someone goes to attack you and you just kind of like stumble out of the way, and instead it's someone else. You know, or like you kind of like slap it away.
Mm-hmm.
Drunkard's luck, you know, whatever. Intoxicated fury. You know, you just get into a bar fight.
Yeah. Fair enough. At 17th level, I think that it's pretty inconsequential, but I guess monks.
Most high level ones are inconsequential.
Yeah. So I'm down to split this in the middle. Unless this is the one you wanted at S.
That's the one I want higher. I love Drunken Master. It's so stupid that it would be fun to play.
Are you insisting in S or an A?
A.
A? Okay. I'm fine with that. I agree with your roleplay aspect of it.
It feels like you're not gonna have any up at the top the way you're talking.
I do have some at the top. I'm playing a monk in a campaign right now. Monk barbarian, but monk.
Yeah, like the monk is one of those ones that the level 20 ability is pretty whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just when you go into a fight, you get key points. But like I don't care about the late game abilities of a monk because I never want to play a late game monk.
Yeah. So, 4 elements.
I had it in A.
Okay. I had it in C because, of course, it's going to be the same conversation about it actually working in practice and the number of key points and kind of limiting you. I think that just the key points in general don't really fit into the system of using them for spells. And they're like, I think it's too many key points for the spells that you would be using.
I don't know. 4 key points for Fireball at 11th level. You have 11 key points at that point.
Yeah.
3 key points for Shatter. You know, like it's not bad when you also have all the other monk abilities. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
2
I guess
key points for Burning Hands is decent because you can hit a lot of people with that, and then 4 for Fireball is decent because you can hit a lot of people with that, and you can use it twice per short rest. You get all your key points back on a short rest.
I know that.
So I think the key point costs are fitting because it's basically you can use 1 or 2 of these per fight, but you can short rest after a fight pretty easily. It's pretty rare that you can't get in a short rest after a fight.
Yeah, no,
And
that is fair.
you know, it's another one of those. It adds good flavor. I do wish it was better because this is the Avatar subclass.
Yes.
I do wish it was better, but I get that it is not easy to make it better. I do think that at third level, you should get to pick your element, and then all of your strikes do that type of damage.
Makes sense, yeah.
I think that's something that would be a good addition to this class. That for me would put it into S, because like you don't have to do fire punches, but you can if you want. So, like, why wouldn't you unless they're resistant to fire?
Yeah.
You can do thunder punches. You can do lightning. You know, like I think that would be a cool way to.
Yeah, and then like
buff
further
this
on,
subclass.
you can like actually like change it either on a short rest or even like I'd totally be fine if it's like on the fly. Like you become a master of the elements and you can change your punches to however.
Yeah,
it's not OP.
I don't know. I think that this one would benefit from sort of like how you pick different totems at different levels. Like you could go solely into fire every level up, and like your punches are fire, and then like you can do burning hands, then fireball, you know, or your thunder, you get shatter and thunder wave, and you know, like I think it'd be cool to have that kind of thing. Or you can spec into all the elements as you level up, as you learn the different elements.
Yeah, I
think that that'd be a better way to do this subclass, and I kind of want to make one now. Like, this is my problem. I like to come up with subclasses that fit monk, but they're not real. Make a good one.
They're not official.
Why don't they make a good one?
I don't know. So, and like, yeah, the theme of Four Elements is just so cool. And this is one that I was actually like considering having at B instead of C. But it was just a matter of I'd rather play the ones above it. Exactly how you kind of talked about with the D tier. So I'm fine with this one actually being an A where you had it.
Okay.
And I think you've kind of shown me that it's not as bad as I thought. I gotta catch myself being too negative with Monk. And just
like the key point costs look high till you remember that. Sure, at 11th level, Fireball costs 4, but you have 11 key points, and it only costs a short rest to get those back. So that means you can cast 2 Fireballs per short rest, and still have 2 key points to play around with. You know, that's not bad.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be using 2 Fireballs. That's unnecessary for yourself, because you want to use your key points for Flurry of Blows, Step of the Wind, Stunning Strike, you know.
So let's move on to Kensei.
I don't like it.
I don't like it either, and it's very unfortunate they just threw it in the mud with adding that optional feature. Like,
yeah, they added an optional feature that is just what this does, so what's the point of ever taking this?
I know, it's super unfortunate because, again, the theme of this is cool. It's a monk that specializes in weapon. Like,
yeah, this is like sort of going down the path of a ninja.
Yeah, there should be a more ninja-like one, honestly.
Yeah, I want to make a ninja subclass that like fully goes into it and is like sort of like a mix between this and Shadow.
Yeah. And like with this subclass, I don't know why they're so obsessed with like how much value giving you more weapons to use gives. Like it's cool in theory.
Yeah.
Like you get
adding
better
more weapons doesn't help at all.
Doesn't change anything. You have 2 weapons at 3rd level, so you have your melee and you have your ranged. What does changing your weapon do at all?
Yeah, like the only thing that does is if you find a magic weapon that is better, but it's not your Kensei type.
Yeah.
That's the only thing it does for you. But as a DM, I wouldn't punish a player like that. I'd let them just use it.
Yeah, fair enough. And like I can see them like switching weapons if like they have multiple magic weapons that have like different effects. But that's a lot of weapons to give one person.
Well, and just like I don't know. Most of the time when I play a character, if I'm playing a character that uses a longsword, I tend to stick to swords. Not
Yeah.
always longsword. Sometimes I might take a scimitar or a short sword or something, but I tend to stick to swords. Same with axes and full arm. You know, like
Yeah.
because you want that aesthetic in your head of your character, and just adding more weapons as your sixth level up. Well, one of the sixth level up. It's just like whatever. And with the 11th level up, getting more, it's whatever. Like, sure, it's in addition to another ability, which is good, instead of just being that. But it's not a good subclass. It's
No.
so just bad. Like, I like the idea of being a monk that uses weapons. You're like a Shaolin monk, you know. But at the same time, you can already use a quarterstaff.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a common thing with these subclasses that we say is like the theme is cool. Like they did it, the theme right. It's just,
Yeah, well, and it's all about personal preference about how much the theme matters to it. Like, I like Ascendant Dragon and Drunken Master because I like the themes of those. The theme of this one, I like the idea, but the way they implemented the idea isn't good. The way they implemented Ascendant Dragon is better than this, I think.
yeah.
It's still not good. But this combined with the optional feature, which just totally makes this useless. You know, like, this would be higher on my list if that optional feature wasn't there.
Oh yeah, I mean, it would be a C for me, not a D, but yeah, the optional feature definitely kind of pushes it more into the dirt.
It makes this pointless.
Yeah, so I had it a D, you had it, I'm assuming C.
Yeah, I'm fine with it going to D though.
Okay, I'll put it in front of Cobalt Soul. Because I probably would play it over Cobalt Soul.
Yeah, Cobalt Soul's just bad.
Yeah, exactly. But it's still...
Like, if you have a character that has high insight, you don't need that ability. You know, like,
No, exactly. So the next one is Long Death, and this is the only one I have an S.
I had it in B.
Okay. That's fair. The reason I have it in S is not roleplay at all, to be honest, and this is the subclass that my character I'm playing as right now. It's mostly...
Oh, I didn't know that you were Long Death.
Yeah, I'm Long Death, and like this is the tanky subclass. This one I think is the best, like mechanically, I would say. It's kind of boring, to be honest. Just with a lot of the things it adds, doesn't seem to give you many options. It's just like additional things on top. But either way, makes you like a really great tank monk.
Yeah, this monk to me reminds me of Champion Fighter. It doesn't do a lot. It just kind of like it puts barbecue sauce on your steak instead of giving me a side dish. You know what I mean?
That's fair enough. It enhances
Like, most of these subclasses are side dishes I don't want to eat with the steak. So at least it's giving me a good sauce. But like, you know what I mean? It's not giving me
yeah.
what I want from a subclass. It's not bad,
No.
but I don't particularly like it. I had it directly in the middle at B.
Okay.
Because it's just like, it's fine.
Yep, fair enough. I can see why you're not interested in it. I'm interested in purely for the combat benefits of it.
Well, you tend to gravitate towards the combat benefits of classes and subclasses whenever you pick anything when you're playing.
Yeah, that's true. Like I don't really
You like to feel powerful. You like the power fantasy of the game.
and I feel
So
like I can change like the role play of like a, you know, like a Way of the Long Death monk. I feel like I could have a fascination with dragons or something, or like be attached to dragons somehow while also being a long death monk. So like, but I'm
Well,
much
yeah.
more loose with the roleplay aspect of it.
I mean, you don't need to be a specific subclass to like something for the roleplay. It's just some classes, the class itself can assist in the roleplay.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
Like when you play an Oath of Vengeance Paladin, you should probably be seeking vengeance on something.
Yeah. I'd say it's fair enough. And we've talked about like Paladin is one of those classes that like your oath, I think.
Yeah, the Paladin is a lot more subclass kind of has to go along with. Doesn't have to, obviously. It's a game. Do whatever the heck you want. But I don't know, Paladin's just one of those ones where it makes more sense to pick a subclass based off what roleplay you want to do more than looking at the features and then just kind of winging it.
Yep. So I put this at S, you put it at B. Split it down the middle.
Sure.
With an A. I don't think we're gonna get any of them in S, to be honest. We'll have to
if you don't have any more in S, I have one in S.
I don't have any more in S, but you might be able to convince me. Let's move on to Mercy. I have
Mercy.
this one.
I had an A.
I have an A as well. I'm glad we both agree on this
Sweet.
one.
All right, we're done.
We're done.
Yeah, moving on.
We have to talk about it. This is like something about making content. I think I heard someone say at some point.
We agreed.
We agreed. Yeah.
I don't know. I just like that it's you have healing hands. I just think it's cool.
Yeah, and you also have
That's
harming
really
hands.
all you get with it, and it's neat.
Yeah, you
You get a mask.
punch them to health.
You get a mask. A couple of them are really creepy. Actually, most of them are creepy.
Yeah.
Really, only one that isn't.
I just really like flurry of healing and harm as well. Like just turning your flurry of blows into like a healing.
It just sounds cool.
Or making them stronger. Like the nice thing about this class is it's not restricting you to just being a healer. Like you can choose to heal or harm. And
I mean, that's
great.
not to level 11.
I know that, but hand of harm,
like,
hand of healing.
This is a subclass that has an argument to be made to go up into S.
Yeah, I agree with that. I wouldn't put it up there, but
I'd say if I can't convince you with the other one, it should go up so that there's one up there.
yeah, you're right. This is definitely going to be the one that, like, between you and I, this would be the S one, because everything else is being brought down or up. Because
now, unless I can convince you on the other one that I have up there.
You will have to see.
Down.
I think I probably know what it is.
Well, there's only 3 left.
Yep. And the next one is Open Hand, which is probably not the S.
No.
No.
I have it in A.
Okay. I had it at B.
Yeah. The reason I had it in A is I like that when you do Flurry of Blows, you can add other conditions to it, like knocking people prone. Oh my gosh. Knocking someone prone with Flurry of Blows, so useful. Pushing them away from you, also useful. Making people not take reactions, also useful.
Yeah.
All 3 of those are useful, and it's your 3rd level ability. That right there, to me, puts it at A and no higher. Because other than that, like, the other abilities are pretty whatever.
Yeah.
But that is good enough to multi-class into for.
That is fair enough. I like the choice behind it as well. I agree with wholeness of body. Yeah, like you said, it's just meh. With a lot of healing things, it just doesn't really heal that much to be amazing. And the rest is fine. The Quivering Palm is...
Sanctuary's just fine. Quivering Palm is just like whatever.
Just fine.
Like, yeah, Open Hand technique is good enough on its own to put this above most monk subclasses, which is sad. But Flurry of Blows is like your main monk ability, and this does good things with it.
Yep.
And it's early enough that you actually use it the entire game. So that's why I had it in A.
Yeah, you had A, I had B. I don't know if I'd bring it up
I'm fine with it being in B.
Okay. Because I think I'd like Drunken Master, 4 Elements, Long Death. Like, I've been convinced that those are better than Open Hand.
I'm fine with that.
Okay. The next one is Shadow, which is probably the S that you have, eh?
Yeah. Easy. So, let me convince you.
Okay.
At 3rd level, you can use key points to make darkness, dark vision, pass without a trace, or silence.
Yeah, that's
You
great.
get minor illusion as well, also super useful.
Mm-hmm.
At 6th level, you can teleport from shadow to shadow. At 11th level, you can become invisible.
In the dark, yeah.
Yeah. And at 17th level, you know, I don't care. You know, use your reaction to hit someone.
Yeah, that one's pretty disappointing.
Yeah,
to be
but
honest.
the other 3 are all as good or better than every ability we have seen so far.
Yeah, I guess I unfairly compare it to Gloomstalker because this is very similar, except Cloak of Shadows is what Gloomstalkers can get at 3rd level.
Oh, do you mean Umbral Sight?
What? Umbral Sight? Cloak of, like, being able to become invisible in darkness?
It's called Umbral Sight.
Oh, yes, that is what I mean. I didn't know what it was called.
Yeah. I'm not just like saying it random.
I don't know.
Yeah, like that. I get why you say that. However, when you're a monk, Dex is your primary stat. You don't wear armor, and monks are just light on their feet. It could be argued that you could basically go around being invisible anyways with how high of stealth rolls you get, especially since you can get pass without a trace, which you get plus 10 bonus to stealth.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility at 3rd level to be rolling 25s to 30s on stealth.
Mm-hmm.
Plus you can cast silence with it. Darkness is always useful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Giving other people dark vision. Also, pass without a trace isn't just on you.
Oh, I know.
It's the whole party. So if you have a shadow monk, like you can have the whole party be able to infiltrate, not just the shadow monk. You know, you can fill that more stealthy ninja role without being a ninja, obviously, but like you can do it in a way that you can actually bring your party with you. Rogues usually can't bring their party with them. Gloomstalkers often can't bring their party with them. Now, Gloomstalkers can learn Pass Without a Trace, but how many people actually take it? You know, you just get it. It's key points, so you get it back on short rests. Shadow Step, super useful in a dungeon. You basically teleport anywhere in a dungeon.
Oh yeah, Shadow Step's great.
And it's a bonus action or an action. So if there's a spellcaster, it's 60 feet, you can just go. And if there's no shadows, because the room is dark, that means everything's shadow. Or if the room is light, all you gotta do is snuff out the shadow. So you just get buddy spellcaster over here with prestidigitation, snuff out the torches.
Yeah, and I agree. All those things are great. I know we don't take the 17th level as important, and we both agree that one's pretty terrible. I don't think I'm convinced for it to be an S though. I think A is.
Well, what is your problem with it?
What is my problem with it?
Yes, because like
I don't have a problem with it. I just don't like it as much as like Mercy.
Because like for this class, like none of the abilities in any of the subclasses are good. Let's just be honest here. There's like 1 or 2 abilities that are actually okay. this class's abilities you would actually use. Like
Yeah.
Ascendant Dragon's abilities, I would use the Wings Unfurled. I would use it regularly. That's it. Astral Self, sure, you're going to use the fists, but they're not good. Cobalt Soul is garbage. Drunken Master, like, sure, you're going to use the Drunken Technique, but it's not actually that good. You know, like, this
No.
is one of the only ones where the abilities are both good at roleplay and combat. Being able to teleport 60 feet for free is game-changing.
Oh, you also have advantage on the first melee attack you make
Yeah.
after you teleport. That's nice. I think probably what I'm
Yeah, like,
disappointed.
something you can do with this is, say there isn't a shadow next to the enemy you need. Well, you can make one very easily with a torch and your hand. Because you just hold up the torch for light and put your hand in front of it to make a hand shadow, and then you can teleport there.
Yeah, I think so. The thing that probably wouldn't make this an S for me is I just wish that there was a little bit more of an increase to damage on a few of these abilities.
Well, it's because you just like damage. Like,
I know I like
this
damage.
class is not about damage. It's about sneaking around.
Yeah, fair enough. I think
And
it does
getting in
that.
behind the enemy. Like, you're all about damage when you look at subclasses most of the time and power, and that's just not what this class is about. So, like, it's going into A because you don't like it.
I mean, it's an
It
A.
doesn't do any damage.
It's an A. I'm actually like more convinced that I would put it as an A now.
Yeah, that's
So you-
why I said it's going into A.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to change your mind because it doesn't do any damage, and that's what you're into.
I like damage, but I want options too of what it can do, and Shadow Hearts is options. I'll admit there are options here. Just missing that one part that I would say have it be an S. But
Yeah. Well, I like it because it actually has utility beyond combat. And it is the only one that you can say that.
fair enough. I mean, Cobalt Soul.
That doesn't count.
I know, I'm joking. Let's move on from Shadow though to Sun Soul.
I didn't know what to do with Sun Soul.
I had a C. It was in
I did
the
too. I had it in B, but because like I don't know what to do with this one. Like, you know what I mean?
It's kind of weird, right? It's you get to throw a bolt of sun, which sounds awesome, first of all, but it feels
it
like
sounds so cool, but the damage die is a D4.
why?
And like
Does it tickle them?
Searing Strike is just burning hands, so whatever.
Yeah, it's 6th level.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a bonus
yay,
action.
I get a first level spell at 6th level. Woo.
Yeah, I mean, you can cast it at a higher level, which is nice, but
I mean, it costs more key to do it.
yeah. Searing Sunburst is fine. I mean, it's a Constitution saving throw at 11th level as well. And only 2d6. You can increase it. Fair enough. You could make it, I think, 8d6?
Yeah, it's just...
Which is good.
I don't know what it is about this one. Like, this one is solely about combat. It does do damage. But, like, it doesn't do anything outside of combat, which is a problem for all of these subclasses. I think that's why I don't like Monk. Because none of it actually does anything outside of combat.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Like, a lot of subclasses that I think are good, you can use outside of combat. Like Trickery Domain Cleric.
Yep.
You can use that outside of combat, really. Same with Echo Knight. You know? It's not just, hey, you get burning hands.
Mm-hmm.
It's just boring.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, this one's just in the meh here, I think, probably for
like
us.
I had it in B solely because, like, it is kind of cool being able to throw sunbeams at people. You know, that is pretty cool. I just, you
Mhm.
know, I also think that breathing fire is cooler.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it kind of goes like I understand why the theme fits a monk, but in D&D it just feels a little bit weird that the monk is suddenly like using light. Like it
Well, I mean, you say it's weird, but like, I also think it's not weird. I think that monks can slot into any of the cleric ones because it's just a monk of that god. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, monks fit this really weird space where they're super dexterous and like they're spiritual but not.
Yeah.
They're in this weird kind of middle zone where like you have like this spirituality of self.
Mhm. So I had it at C, you had it at B. This is I don't really care if it's B or
I'll
C,
throw it
to be
into C,
honest.
make it more even.
Okay, fair enough.
No, why not? I don't care.
Yeah.
Monk, I don't really care about. This is the one I wanted to do least.
Well, that's how I felt too. I was looking at this and I was like, I just don't care about a bunch of these. Like, it's
Yeah,
just,
Mercy's cool because you can heal people.
yeah, absolutely. And it's the one we agree on the most. It's definitely more positive than the one I had. I only had one in S,
Well,
one in
it's
A.
because we went into this completely differently.
Oh, absolutely. And that's honestly probably better for the tier list for people. Sorry.
That sounded weird.
When weird hiccups. But yeah, this is better for people watching. They get a better idea of, I don't know, like a more well-rounded look at it. With you prioritizing roleplay and me prioritizing combat and basically whatever I like. But that's about it. That's what we got for Monk. We are going to record Barbarian now. Monk will be coming out. Actually, I don't know why I'm saying Monk will be coming out. I'll probably just cut this part out of the video. And then just do like a proper outro. I don't know why I would be saying Monk is coming out in the video that Monk is coming out.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It is coming out.
It is coming out. It will come out.
You were not incorrect.
Yeah. So,
Anyways, wrap up
anyways,
so that we can go to a class we like.
I know. This is probably this is the tier list that I had the least fun talking about, for sure.
It's because we don't like the class.
I know, and that's it.
I would have more fun talking about just the homebrews that I've made for it
Yeah,
because
and
they're not bad.
we should definitely talk about that sometime. But that's it. That's Monk. That's how we feel about it. If you guys disagree, let us know in the comments. If you agree, definitely let us know in the comments. I love when people agree and, you know, talk about how right I am. Like and subscribe, of course. And stay tuned for the next Barbarian, or the next video where we talk about the Barbarian subclasses. It'll be a lot more positive and more fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.